Today on Suncoast View, has development clogged our escape routes? How our exploding population could be affecting our ability to evacuate.
Hurricanes can be a scary thing to explain to kids. Today we bring an expert in to help us make Hurricane Irma a learning experience.
And our Suncoast animals need help too. We'll find out who the Wildlife Center of Venice rescued from Hurricane Irma. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show, and welcome back to our good friend, Candace McCallion. Good to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be back as always.
Getting into the routine this week.
Are you back?
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about this over the weekend. I felt like exhausted this weekend, not to mention what you all did, but I feel like everyone kind of had hurricane fatigue.
Yeah.
You know, just the stress, anxiety, getting ready, getting unready, I mean, all of it. But yeah, I'm glad to be back to normal.
Normal is
we are
a wonderful thing.
It is.
Let's never complain about normal again.
Exactly.
Right.
Kids back to school, power almost all back on. We're still, of course, working through that on portions of the Suncoast. But yeah, we're getting there, and I think it will be good to get back in the groove a little bit. You know, it is unfortunate, though, because of everything that happened in the past week. Many local Suncoast business owners are definitely struggling. I know we've been talking endlessly about the restaurants. You know, reopening is tough enough without power. And then you think about everything they had to throw away. It's such a tough time of year. Yeah, because this is not a busy season anyway. So I guess it's good in that, you know, having the slowdown is timing to get you back on your feet, but your income is down.
Oh, yeah.
When you have the slowdown.
I was behind a guy at Publix, and he had a huge stack of cucumbers, and I said, wow, you really eat healthy. And he said, no, I'm one of 5 restaurants on Main Street in Sarasota that our freezers went bad. We lost stuff in our freezer, so they're still trying to stock up.
Oh, that's horrible.
So it's maybe something to keep in mind.
Inventory they lost.
Yeah, exactly. As we get back, you know, into our routines for the next couple of weeks, is support local businesses.
Absolutely.
You know, go eat on Main Street, go hang out with the local folks, and help get everybody back to normal as soon as possible. Even with limited menus and things like that, still good to go out. And I notice even the grocery store shelves still pretty empty.
I know.
We're all still trying to get restocked a little bit here, so we'll.
Oh, my refrigerators are completely open, absolutely nothing inside, because I threw all that stuff away. But when I got home late last night, I was just glad to see those open refrigerators. I'll be glad to go out and eat.
All right, well, we're going to count on you to do that. And actually, throughout the week, we're going to be highlighting ways that you can help Suncoast local businesses as we get everybody back on their feet. Well, it is time for our first hot topic. And did bumper-to-bumper traffic impact your decision to evacuate or not during Hurricane Irma? So Irma covered both of Florida's densely populated coasts, and it created the largest evacuation in Florida's history. So now emergency management officials are concerned that too much development is hurting our ability to get out if need be. Triple-digit percentages in population are trying to evacuate on the same infrastructure that existed for decades. Should we consider this as we make development rules?
Of course you should consider it. It's one of those things where they say, you know, you anticipate the best, but you have to be prepared for the worst. So if you're building a development that's going to add 1,000 people, you can't just say the likelihood of a storm coming is so, you know, small.
Hunker down. We can't just say that anymore.
You can't say that anymore, especially now that a lot of the damage comes from these developments that may have just been so densely put together. It's like, you know, you're just like, okay, wait. Now homes that weren't there are being impacted by areas that are normally, you know, high in water whenever it rains.
And the stories about people coming back into town are where I've really heard. You know, I think people staggered a little bit more on the way out. Some left real early, some waited, but everybody tried to come back in those same 48 hours after. And the stories are real.
The developments just need, as they develop and make a development, they need a hurricane plan too, like a shelter where people know that's where they're going to go when it hits.
Yeah, or just include it in the planning process. You know, you got to think that.
We've only got so much room in this state, though, to make highways going north and south. So we've just about used up all the space for that.
That's true. And I think what we're seeing now is the downfall of what happened many years ago, because now currently if a developer is coming in to build a new development, they have what's called concurrency, where they have to put in the needed infrastructure to support that development. So that's why you see Lorraine Road being extended down towards Fruitville, because Lakewood Ranch, that's part of concurrency. And even Lakewood Ranch Boulevard will be extended down.
You
so
have to have a way.
You have to have a way. But a long time ago, those rules didn't exist. And so, you know, you have so many people that came to the state, and you're right. I mean, now it was a nightmare getting in and out of the state for many, many people.
The first thing I thought when you said that was, what are you going to do? Say, okay, everybody that came after a certain date, go back. Get out.
You have to hunker down. You don't get to evacuate. Well, switching gears, the 69th Annual Emmy Awards honored the stars of TV shows last night. But per usual, it was what everyone was wearing that was the talk of the town. So we're going to check out some top trends. They included plunging necklines in bright colors. So here's some of the best dress lists. Nicole Kidman wearing Calvin Klein. She looked great. So many reds on the runway last night. And a very rainbow wearing Tessa Thompson also got a big thumbs up.
Beautiful.
Viola Davis was in Zach Posen. Again, we're seeing those bright colors, the oranges and a pink, and a very classy looking Jane Fonda in Brandon Maxwell. Do we like this bright trend?
Yes.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, here's the what were you thinking category. We're going to go back and take a look at this.
These are the best.
Ariel Winter
Those are the good ones.
is wearing an animal print kind of double slit thing. I guess there's a name for that. Is that the car wash style or the washer?
I don't know what it is.
Right. Well, that got a large thumbs down. Vanessa Bayer is wearing grandma's floral curtains, if you ask me.
I don't like that either.
I mean, I know florals are in, but I don't know. That looks like a couch.
Flattering.
I've had an apron made out of that material, I think.
Check out Heidi Klum in red. Now, I didn't hate this, but they were talking about how she looks like she's going to Coachella because it's so boho and she's got all those bangles.
And I think the way she's also is
though.
where she's standing. I think she has her shoulders hunched over. I don't think she was prepared for that picture.
No, it's definitely not a flattering
She
picture.
always looks amazing.
She looks
She
defensive.
could wear a paper bag and look gorgeous.
Right. I can see boho a little bit, and that's Carrie Coon next to her, and she looks like she's headed to prom.
Well, you know, the front of that still has that effect where it has the two slits, almost. I don't know
The
if that's
double slit.
Yeah, I don't think you can
I
wear
don't
that
think that's
to
what
prom.
it meant to happen, but yeah, I'm not a fan.
No, I like the bright colors though, because so often we've
yes.
seen. Was it last year, the year before? Everything was that beige, neutral, and I don't know. I love color.
I do too.
So I think it's nice to see the
brightened
pop of
everything
color.
up.
It did brighten everything up, and I think it was a good escape too to be
I was
able to check
thinking
that
that,
out.
considering, you know, because even though it's technically no longer summer, you still want to feel that summer feel, especially with all the storms. You want that happy feeling that comes with fall.
Yeah. It was just kind of nice to think about something other than weather last night.
Yeah,
And
but
some
you know
of the
what?
speeches were funny. Did you watch the speeches?
Yes.
Some
Yes.
were really funny.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a fun, edgy topic. Well, speaking of what to wear, a high school in Wisconsin is requiring all dress-wearing students and their guests to submit a photo of what they're going to wear to the homecoming dance before they can buy a ticket.
Oh my gosh.
The school says this is aimed at keeping students from getting ejected from the dance for showing too much skin. But students and parents call this policy sexist, saying only the girls get the blame for inappropriate clothing.
And there's the problem. The parents are complaining about it.
Exactly. You want your child to go to school naked?
Well, it's a
Partially.
dance, but
I mean, but you're still naked and it's still a school event.
I think I'm
It's
okay with the
inappropriate.
dress code. And the school says it's not sexist because the boys have a code too, like no sagging is allowed. So they have their set of rules.
Well,
but
just
they
let
don't.
them send a picture in too, and you know,
Yes,
just
no
approve
problem.
it.
I don't know. Do
I
you,
think it's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. The parents should be able to be in charge of what
Exactly.
is appropriate for their children to wear. I mean, absolutely you can have a dress code, and if someone violates the dress code, yeah, send them home. But to send in a picture in advance, I mean, that's a
But they don't
little.
want to hurt their feelings when they have to go home.
Oh my goodness.
well, it's kind of their parents' fault at that point, though. If there's a published dress code, and the parents know the published dress code, then
It's easy to say now until you're that kid at that dance door trying to get in, and they're like, "Oh, you're not appropriately dressed," and then you have to go get
don't
your
you
parents
think
to come.
you'd know that, though?
Yeah,
Well,
everybody knows.
apparently not, because there's this
But I
issue
kind of
going
feel
on.
like you should be able to wear whatever you want.
Well,
don't.
but you know
I
what they
don't.
wear.
Could
See,
you
I
wear
don't.
anything you want here?
See, but
Yeah.
Really? Joey might send you home.
But the problem with this is we assume everyone thinks like us, and all our parents think the same way.
That's true.
And there's a parent that isn't going to think like you,
Yeah,
and their
no.
child is going to come in a completely sheer dress
Yes.
with a leotard underneath.
They look like mini hookers.
Yes.
I can say that. I have a high school daughter. I deal with this all the time.
Yeah.
They are not appropriately dressed.
I think that if I was a principal, you might
hate
have to submit
censoring
2 pictures, the
people.
front and the back.
But there are rules in
I
this
don't know.
world. There
Yeah,
are rules.
follow the dress code, but other than that,
That's the
I
rule.
mean,
But kids don't
That's the
do
rule.
that. They don't
Follow
do that
the
on a
dress code.
regular
send them
day.
home. You know,
Yeah.
do that.
I don't know about the picture part, but I definitely think a
Front and
well-published.
back.
We have a well-published dress code. I don't know if anyone's actually been sent
Yeah.
home, but
Yeah.
I
I feel
don't know.
bad for Bobette's kids.
We've said that before. She talks tough. She talks tough.
Right, she's a big softie.
We'll
when
see
it
if
comes
she
to that.
keeps up with it. We'll see if she keeps up with it. Well, Apple's big reveal got overshadowed by Irma in our area last week. But the new iPhone 8 goes on sale Friday. So the new line of iPhones will have wireless charging, a more light-sensitive camera, and greater capabilities for augmented reality. The new iPhone 8 is also glass on both sides. So in my mind, that's 2 ways I can break it. Now, the iPhone X, which is actually pronounced 10 because of the Roman numeral, will feature facial scanning for unlocking and a big price tag. The iPhone 10 is $1,000 and will likely not be widely available until next year.
The iPhone 10 will not be in my purse.
Yeah, who wants to upgrade? All
Oh,
right.
I'm totally getting it.
You get 10 or the 8 or
ready
any
for
of
an
them?
upgrade.
You're
10,
excited?
Yeah. We get, every time they upgrade, we sell our old ones on eBay and make good money for them, pretty much what we paid.
put it towards?
And put it towards the new one, yeah. And brilliant marketing by Apple, by the way. They totally skipped over 9.
Right,
Because
for
this
the
one
anniversary
is just
year.
like so much better than going to 9. So they're just, I love
I
Apple.
like the actual screen, how it looks like it's
Yeah.
psychedelic colors.
Yeah.
It's
But I
cool.
don't know, like they already break so easily. So now, like you said,
Oh,
it's like
that's
any little
crazy.
thing, the whole thing is glass, it's just going to be all
At least I try to
shattered.
drop mine this way. You know, I mean, I don't even know how you're going to case it if it's glass on both sides.
I don't know, maybe it's heavier glass. I really need a
I
new
doubt.
phone, so I'll be getting it, I hope. I'm not ordering now, though, not until next year.
I'll wait a couple years when it's only, it's free.
All right, well, we're counting on Candace to get a new 10 and bring
I'll
it in
bring
for
it.
us to play with because it sounds fun. So there's a new Instagram star. She may only be a few weeks old, but she already has 21,000 plus followers. Meet Alexis Olympia Ohanian Jr. This is Serena Williams' new baby girl. Her first pic shows her in a onesie that reads, "Smart and strong like my mama." I love that picture.
How cute.
And in the other one, she is just resting peacefully. I love that
I
Serena
wonder if they
sharing.
posed her.
Her
or
face
she
looks like
posed
her
by
mom.
herself.
She does look like her mama. I agree, but she looks so
cute.
peaceful.
Yes,
So fun.
elegant.
Yeah. So those are her first 2 public pictures out. And you can follow her on Instagram as well if anyone's interested.
You know the pressure on that kid when she starts playing tennis. They'll expect her to
I
be the
know.
best in the world when she's 3.
That's why you got to go the complete opposite way.
Yeah, I was going to
Right.
say, if I was her, I
Don't
don't think
play
I'd do it.
tennis.
Don't play
Soccer,
tennis.
Well,
gymnastics.
Anything
dad,
else.
her dad is a technology nerd, so
That's
what do
right.
you do?
She can be a STEM girl, and well,
There you
she
go.
should. All right, we're going to check out our happy hour forecast when we come back. A look at how Irma impacts Suncoast wildlife and how you can keep your kids stress-free with storm season.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. It looks as though Maria, now a major hurricane, is rapidly intensifying as it heads toward the northern Leeward Islands and the Lesser Antilles there. It's now at 125-mile-an-hour winds, a well-defined eye. It is getting more and more organized as it heads off to the northwest. We'll have an update on it. Also, some showers left behind from Jose as it makes its way off well away from us, but still along the east coast mainly. It's high and dry here. We have mostly sunny skies, 88 degrees. The heat index is at 95 right now, the dew point 72. The pressure holding steady at 29.92 inches. Statewide, or for our area, now into the mid to upper 80s right now, 89 at Mayaca City, 89 in Northport, Inglewood at 86, and Punta Gorda now at 90. The Gulf water temperature is at 84 degrees. And again, we'll have the latest on Lee as well as on Maria and all the other tropical systems that are out there coming up today at 5. See you then.
Hurricane Irma was a scary storm as it blew through the Suncoast, and it brought rain and gusty winds. It was especially scary for children. And on top of all that, the kids' routines were thrown off with the power outages and the canceled school. Child therapist Eric Sisler is with us today to tell us how we can manage to make Irma a valuable learning experience. Welcome, Eric. We're so glad to have you here. What are you seeing in your practice?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. This is a pretty exciting thing to be here and see this happen. But It seemed like from the moment that electricity was restored, the schedule just got slammed full of people, of course, wanting to come in and talk about their experience and process what they did while they evacuated or rode out the storm. Now, the interesting thing that was happening there is all of these people were describing this sense of grief and loss as if they experienced their house being completely destroyed.
Oh, wow.
And all of them were saying things like, but I don't understand why I feel like this, why I'm having a hard time adjusting, because my home is intact. I mean, we had some trees down, but everything is still there. My life is okay. I haven't lost anyone. So this happens because of in my opinion, the particular reason why the human brain is so interesting is that we can think about things that don't exist. Nothing else can do that. We can. So in order for us to
blessing and a
understand,
curse.
Yeah.
exactly, it's what gives us an advantage in life. Now, in order for us to understand what to expect from a possible circumstance we could experience, we have to simulate that in thought, in our mind. Now, these people were describing this happening before the storm even made landfall on the Keys. Now, I walked through my house with my wife and we're talking about like, okay, well, this stuff might be gone. This stuff's probably going to be gone. And we get this imagery of like winds tearing through the house and things like that. And I was experiencing some sense of loss, and I started trying to imagine what's life going to look like after the storm. We're going to have to rebuild all this stuff.
Right.
So, but how does your body not undo it? So, for instance, you have that sense of loss, but then you didn't have the loss. So, how do you not go back to the same place you were before?
So
you
why
had
aren't you
those
just okay?
imageries. Yeah.
So now there's a couple of things that will help people successfully integrate a traumatic experience. Now, one is obviously we had a really good outcome. I mean, we were just talking about, in the green room that we lucked out big time on this storm. So when it comes to helping the kids integrate this traumatic experience, we can change how they are in what state they're in while they're experiencing the storm.
Oh, during
Now,
the storm.
During the storm, before and even after, believe it or not, is a useful time to be talking about this stuff. So first and foremost, we know that kids will look to us as parents to know when to be nervous. It's hardwired in the brain. It's in the microphysiology. So a friend of mine actually sent me a message, and I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but it's appropriate. Their adult daughter, 20 years old, sent them a text message that said, "Mom, let me know exactly when you start freaking out so I know when to freak out."
Yeah, my kids say that too.
So
They take your cues.
even when they're adults, they're still functioning that way. So the first thing we can do, tip number one would be to first check ourselves, see what state we're in before we try to deliver any kind of information. Now, if we feel hurried, nervous, or if we feel hyper at all, or if we're having any kind of abreaction ourselves, it's probably not the best state to communicate from. So and this is a trend that I noticed in the families that I've seen since the storm, that the ones that have had really good reactions, they had a family meeting beforehand about the storm. Now, this presupposes a business type approach to the thing, and it stays totally calm, it's matter of fact, and these kids tend to fare well. Now, if we are thinking about how we're phrasing the content that we're giving them, this tip number 2 is to orient the language more toward safety rather than danger. Now, most people talk about what they don't want to have happen. Exactly.
The tree will fall on the house.
The tree, why are we boarding up the house? Well, so that the trees don't break through the window and destroy everything in your bedroom. So what this does is it conjures up imagery in the kid's head of that. And then they start responding to that. On the other side, we want to have them thinking more about solution-focused responses. So if we say something to them, they ask, why are we putting boards up on the windows? We'll say something like, well, to make sure that everything in the house stays as it is so that we stay safe. So what this does, and this is a bit more of a nuanced piece to it, where it'll take the problem and then it will immediately bring in solutions. So and this is good for any time outside of storm context. anytime we can train a kid to have a stressful situation and they immediately link a solution, that's the best thing.
Great. So we can learn so much from this storm that builds stronger kids.
Absolutely.
And adults. Thank you so much. And if you would like to talk to him, you can go to his website. Eric's website is available. You see it right there. And coming up next, Dr. Jenny is here to tell us about stress-relieving natural options.
We were watching ABC 7 News.
We kept getting the information we needed along the way, and it did help us prepare.
When they were showing the eye, I started to realize, okay, we better take some precautions.
We were able to look at the My Suncoast app and get the weather updates.
We stayed informed during the storm.
It makes a big difference having the information that you need in a time of stress.
Bob and John Scalzi, both of them. They're my favorites.
It helped a lot to have you guys reporting for us.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Until recently, getting older meant losing your energy, memory, sex drive, even gaining weight, but it doesn't have to.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jenny Wilkins, owner of Age Vital Pharmacy Research and Wellness. Reversing or slowing the effects of aging can be as simple as supplementing vitamins, minerals, and hormones that your body needs in order to look and feel young again. At Age Vital, we do this without taking harmful prescription drugs that often have a longer list of side effects than benefits. Growing older doesn't mean you have to feel older. Age well, Age Vital.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
And welcome back. Many of us felt stressed and anxious watching Hurricane Irma approach the Suncoast for days. And some ways of coping with that stress can be more healthy than others. Today we asked Dr. Jenny from Age Vital Pharmacy about some natural stress and anxiety solutions. All right, I can just imagine. We were just talking about the stress that comes with this, but you know, it was like day after day of it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and your stress level just started increasing.
Oh,
what were people doing?
The adrenals were just going, and when those adrenal glands, you know, get overactivated, sometimes it's reactivated from okay, it's coming, it's not coming, it's coming. So you're talking about this fight or flight mechanism, up and down, up and down, up and down. So people's bodies aren't meant to do that, and then it's hard to calm those adrenals after a stressful situation. My gosh, my phones were blowing up last Monday and Tuesday, and we didn't even have power. We didn't have Comcast. Our phones weren't working, so my phone was blowing up. My doctors are like, people are wanting CBD, people want cannabis. What can you do for all our stressful patients? I'm like, you guys got power number one? Oh my gosh, I don't have any power. How am I supposed to fulfill any prescriptions and stuff?
So let's talk about CBD. What is it and how does it help with stress?
Yeah, so CBD is cannabis. So think of cannabis is just like any other plant, like spinach, like cilantro, like asparagus, like lettuce. People don't realize that the phytocannabinoid system is in every living plant. So CBD is a non-psychoactive chemical that's in the cannabis plant that calms our neurological functions down, and that's what people need is something to, you know, calm their brain. Number one is just going overactive, so a fight or flight's hyper sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system, that's what gets the brain just thinking, and when you're thinking you can't turn it off, your adrenals can't calm down. So that CBD just gives you that ability, I call it, just to control your environment. It gives you the reins to go, okay, take a deep breath,
you're not
everything's gonna be fine, you know. we have our lives, you know, so what, trees fell down everywhere. My gosh, all the trees in my neighborhood, you know, fell over in my backyard, didn't hit anybody. But that's the first thing I was doing, was my CBD vape. So I offer it in many different, you know, delivery mechanisms. I have capsules, I have CBD cream, I have the tincture, I have the vape now too. So it's like a little electronic device,
kind of thing.
oil, and so you can refill it. And I even have the disposable vapes too. So I was living off of the disposable.
You were the calmest lady in the neighborhood.
Oh, I was super calm.
So physically though, what is it physically doing? What will I feel?
So, well, what happens is it activates the CB1 receptor neurologically. That's actually the receptor site for cannabis. So we have an endocannabinoid system. So that's huge, just like we have the endocrine system for hormones, and we have a system for B12 and for amino acids.
So there's a system in our body that processes
actually process it. So it's built in there. So let your food be your medicine, your medicine be your food. We're supposed to be deriving this from our foods, and it helps calm and relax neurological function. But what you feel is like a sense, a lot of people describe it as almost like doing yoga. Like when you're done doing yoga, you know, that calming feeling you feel after you're done working out. So super relaxed, but you don't feel high whatsoever.
I was going to ask that. What's the difference? Because you said cannabis. What's the difference between that?
Relaxed and focused is what you're like. Let's get things done.
So
that's
you're
what
not
CBD
high
is.
and
Not high whatsoever. No psychoactive properties.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jenny. And you guys can get more information about CBDs and some of the other things she has at our pharmacy by visiting their location on Main Street in downtown Sarasota, or their website at agevital.com. Next, we look at how Hurricane Irma is impacting our wildlife. We'll be right back.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
The kitchen is where life happens. Manasota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
Anyone that approaches you and you don't know who they are, they're basically a stranger to you. You shouldn't hire them on the spot or sign anything that they give you or give any money up front at all.
When catastrophes like Irma take place, the scammers are often there to follow. What to look for to avoid being ripped off. I'm Alan Cohn. Don't become a victim. Watch the trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hurricane Irma did not just impact Suncoast properties and people, it also affected our wildlife. Many animals, especially babies, got tossed from their nests and left to fend for themselves. Kevin Barton, the director of the Wildlife Center of Venice, joins us to talk about how the animals need our help after Irma. This is sad.
Well, we did get a lot really quick. The center usually gets about 4,500 animals a year, so we're always a busy place. But usually we get 15, 20 animals on a busy day. And the day after the storm, we got over 150 animals.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Yeah, and that's mostly squirrels. And then over the next few days, we got many, many more squirrels and also rabbits. So we ended up with about 300 patients.
Oh my gosh! So explain. Obviously squirrels have nests. How did people find them?
All over town, sitting in puddles, sitting in parking lots, sitting, just about every place you could think of. They were blown out of their stick nests, or balled up in the tops of the trees, and that was one of the first things, blown apart are the things at the tops of the trees. The second candidate, squirrels by far, reigned the day, or ruled the day, but rabbits were second. They got flooded out of nests all over town as well. So we got babies of both species all over. And that's, of course, the eastern gray squirrel. We also got some flying squirrels and some other species that we usually get on a regular basis.
So these are what you got, but what still needs rescuing?
It's starting to slow down as far as storm-related animals. But now we're getting the animals that people had without power, longer periods of time, not being fed the proper diets. So now we're getting the critical ones that, are still alive from the storm. Maybe by well-meaning people that didn't have the means to take care of them. So we're still getting them. And
so like turtles and birds?
You get it. Turtles, birds. We got a sandhill crane missing a leg the day after the storm. We get birds with broken wings, battered after the winds. But again, the biggest numbers by and far were the squirrels and rabbits. But we did get quite the variety.
When you speak of getting them, there's a whole process that you use to actually, if someone else doesn't bring them in, for you guys to go trap them and bring them into safety and rehab them. And you brought some of the tools to show us how you do that. Kind of talk about the nets that I was going to call them little, but this is not little by any means.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We have a full arsenal of equipment. Most of our equipment that we've brought today are the kind of things we want in everyone's car.
Okay.
We have different.
It's the size of my car.
It's a huge net. You can catch anything in that.
Well, we use those a lot for sandhill cranes, eagles, and things, but where I use that the most, the kind of equipment I did not bring, is I do a lot of the tree work. So I climb the trees after injured animals, whether it's a raccoon with a jar on its head or something that's hanging by a fishing line. So this is also the catcher's net for the ground team that's in case something goes wrong.
So you shake it, it drops.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, I try and get them safely down, but just in case something goes wrong, if they jump, if they fall, that's the safety net.
You could land in there, too.
It's pretty big. It depends on who's at the bottom strong enough.
And what's this one?
This is a more general-sized one, as is this one. And these are, you want the right tool for the job. This is a heavier rubberized thing, so it's pretty strong. That's about the cheapest, most basic.
I get the cheapest one.
Well, what it is it's affordable and it's easily accessible. Any Walmart has these, and they get the job done quite a bit of the time. Now, sometimes you need the telescopic poles that have 20-foot poles on them. If you're chasing a bird in a Walmart, that's very useful.
In case that ever happens.
Yeah, we've done that a number of times. So, we use all kind of things. Now, we do have a net gun. We don't use it very often. We prefer the snare technique we brought.
Speaking of that, that's the one that's down there.
Yeah.
Candace, it's closer to you. Can you get that?
Let's see this, Candace.
All right.
So that's a snare?
Looks like a fishing pole.
And how does it work?
Well, it's a very basic apparatus, but the idea is that
Let's
you
see
see the loop
Bo-Bath.
on the ground.
I think
if you could snare Bo
I'll see if I can step in it.
Embrace your inner
So what's the
sandhill
idea?
crane.
Well, the idea is if you're a sandhill crane, you want to provide the right bait for the bird. So,
Okay.
So you're talking about a bird that eats mostly insects and grains and things. So You'll put the bait in the snare where you think you can coax them into putting one leg in the snare.
All right, so I got one leg.
Oh, well, Beth, you may regret this.
Now, if it's a bird with a broken leg, you definitely want to focus on the good leg. You don't want to hurt the bad leg.
Gosh, that's a lot of pressure.
So it's very important that you get everything lined up properly before you do it. But
So I stepped in, and what does she do?
Then she pulls the line.
I
got her! And that's how we save a lot of patients. We get animals with broken legs, but they can still fly.
Okay.
And the idea is to get them while we can still give them medical attention and time to save them. And that's the best tool for the job. The net gun is similar, but it's very noisy and it sounds like a shotgun. If you miss,
so that will scare them.
you don't get close again.
Well, let me undo myself. And while I do that, you want everyone to learn how to use these appropriately. So you guys have a couple workshops. Tell me about those.
We do. We have 2 upcoming workshops. I know one is at the Sarasota Audubon Society. We have them periodically. But we want all the citizens in town that want to work with birds or want to learn how to do this to please come out, consider it. These are the kind of tools that anyone can keep in their car for when the need arises. And these are the kind of things that we want people to know. But some animals are harder to catch, and some will need a more experienced team.
That's when you come out.
So yes, please call us. Now, we were very fortunate with all the hundreds of squirrels and rabbits we got. Most of them after the storm were able to bring them to us. That was huge. We do usually provide this rescue service, but many of our people were out of town, or the gas shortages were really a problem. So fortunately, many of the rescuers that didn't leave town came in and fed squirrels.
Now, will those babies be able to go back to the wild?
Yes, in most cases, that is always our goal, is to get them better and get them home.
Very good.
All right, well, again, a training class for volunteers is coming up on September the 23rd. If you are interested, you can go to their website to get more information. They need all the people out there catching some animals for them, so hey, anything can help. Next, we're going to introduce you to some Suncoast hurricane heroes. We'll be right back.
When severe weather strikes, trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
It's Willamania at the Players Center as the Will Rogers Follies takes the stage September 27th. Part homespun humor and part Ziegfeld Follies, this toe-tapping Tony Award musical is the start of our wild Broadway series. So call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You need to catch Willamania.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. Schools on the Suncoast back in session, and Florida parents are getting a little bit of a financial break because of Hurricane Irma. Plus, a warning about scams, some tips on what schemes to be on the lookout for during recovery efforts from Hurricane Irma. Now let's get a check of the First Alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Thanks. Right now we're continuing to watch this massive storm. It's getting stronger and stronger by the hour. Top winds now at 125 miles an hour, expected to get even stronger, a well-defined eye, and it's headed toward the northern Leeward Islands as well as into Puerto Rico there. We have some showers on the East Coast, mainly left over from Jose. Nothing going on here. Things are quiet. Currently, we have plenty of sunshine, a few clouds, 88 degrees, the dew point 72, and the heat index at 95 with a west-northwest wind at 16. We'll have more in the forecast coming up at 5. See you then.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Suncoast schools reopened today after being closed for more than a week, both before and after Hurricane Irma, and it has taken some very long hours by employees to get the buildings ready again for students. Sarasota County employees Kurt and Jackie Weaver are two of the people who helped make that happen. Welcome. Thank you for, it was like arm twisting to get you to come on the show today and talk about your heroic efforts that everyone is talking about at the school district. So first, you're both head custodians in Sarasota County School District. How long have you been married?
Too many years and actually 33.
33 years. And how long have you been at the school district?
Jackie's been with the district 20 years and I've been with the district 28 years.
Wow. And so I heard that after the storm, we'll talk about what you did during the storm in just a minute, but after the storm, you worked like 48 hours non-stop to clean up. Tell us about that.
Well, we started actually Thursday night staging the schools. Special needs shelters opened up first, which is where I was with at Tatum Ridge.
Yep.
So we started prepping Thursday night. And then going into Friday is when we opened up the shelters. And everything was smooth at the beginning. And as it progressed on, of course, more and more people, and then everybody knew the size of the storm. And everybody else said, is it coming? Is it not coming? Based on what area it was going to hit in the community or not,
right.
Was the amount of people coming. And it actually turned out to be, I heard the number, 780 or 800 people at Tatum.
And you, Kurt, actually went out into the hurricane when it was at its worst to get a generator working for that special needs shelter so that people could stay alive.
What happened was the generator fired up and then it went right back down, which is common with generators because they sit a lot of times, and then the second time, generally when it fires up and runs, it usually runs smooth. It went back down because the shutters would not stay open, and the shutters are very important because it gives airflow for the huge generator, a diesel engine. Wow. And I was very blessed because in my time in the younger years, I was in the United States Army, and my field was diesel engines.
Oh, so you knew how what was wrong with it.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
And then we had 3 other gentlemen that worked with me, and between the four of us, we did go out into the storm. I counted probably about 9 times to keep the power up because we were special needs, and because the patients and the residents there needed oxygen, it was very important to keep it running.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
But we had a great team.
Weren't you
That's what I was
nervous?
told, yes.
I mean,
no,
but
I think,
you know, because I get their lives are in danger, but at what point did you say, hey, I have to put my life in danger to protect theirs?
I just think what happens is once I realized, because I was the main contact for the facility, and it was challenging, everything that was going on, but once I knew there was a great team of people, you know, no titles, everybody just jumped in and did what they had to do. It was so cool. Once I knew they had my back, I could focus on what was needed to be done, the high priority things. And I think what happens with anybody is your body takes over. You don't really focus and look at those type of things. Yes, we were aware that, you know, it's not a good thing for us to be out in the elements during the storm, but the top priority was making sure that everybody got out of there the next day so they could go see the sun come up, the sun go down.
Exactly. Tell us about what the rest of last week was like, because I think, you know, we were all overwhelmed by our own homes, you know, and you've got all these different schools and places that you need to be in charge of. What type of cleanup were you doing last week?
Well, we got 120 custodians throughout the district and actually put several people at each school to clean them up based on the needs. Brookside took a lot of time because there was a lot of dogs and cats at Brookside, so it took a lot of time, as well as Tatum because of the special needs.
Right.
We actually just wrapped up the last of the schoolwork for the kids to come back today, yesterday at 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
So
you guys had your granddaughter with you too. I know you were at the shelter as well. And
oh, how cute she is.
Tell me about your granddaughter.
Quilly picked out her hurricane dress, and that is what she wore. She had to wear that on the hurricane day.
That's cute. But that's just something else for you to worry about. You know, you were trying to keep a child safe and happy.
Actually,
you had,
and this is her. What you just recently adopted her, correct?
Oh, did she go to the shelter with you?
Yes, she did. And we just had a very long
She calls Tatum Ridge her motel.
She wanted to spend another night at the hotel.
Well, thank you so much for
Yes,
what you
thank you
did and
guys.
for working nonstop to get schools back up and running again. You must be exhausted.
Oh, I bet you are.
But thank
Feel
you.
better now.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
And I'd like to say one of the important things was the sheriff's department. When a generator was down, we had people on the second floor. They hand carried patients down or people in the shelter to the cafeteria, and I think it's very important they get recognized for the service they did.
absolutely. Everybody coming together, an absolute huge help.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you to everybody. All right, coming up next, we're going to look at some of the questions you asked us here at ABC 7 during the storm. Stay with us.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251. 800-628-1251.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Just go do it. Go do it. If you're not in control, then who is? Live above the influence.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Welcome back. Well, part of our coverage during Hurricane Irma was to have a phone bank so that the viewers could ask questions about what was happening, because it was kind of alarming. And I know, Linda, I know you spent a lot of time taking viewer calls, and I've heard a lot of really positive feedback about this.
You know, I think the main thing was, normally when you make a call in a crisis situation, you get a voicemail, somebody that recorded this several days ago, and these were real people there. There were so many of us from ABC 7 who were there through the night, day after day after day, really talking to people. We had all the information they needed right at our fingertips. And, you know, if you're isolated, if you're alone in the house and you're going through a storm, it's so nice to be able to reach out and talk to a human being
and
who can tell you what's
guys
happening.
for giving up your, you know, because so many people, they could have evacuated and gone with their families, but they stayed here at the station and spent the night here to take those calls.
These were people from ABC7 who worked here, who worked in departments you don't see on the air, but they worked around the clock, hour after hour after hour. And we made some friends on those phones, too.
Oh,
it was really nice.
I mean, just thinking about, you know, knowing that we have access to the latest information, and people are scared and nervous, and, you know, you can answer questions about shelters, you can answer timing questions from our meteorologists.
Yeah, and they're hearing the, you know, from the source. I mean, valid, accurate information is available in real time. So.
It was nice to say, hey, John, what was that last update?
No, exactly. Well, a big thanks to everybody here for doing that, because I know that involves a lot of our behind-the-scenes crew, our sales staff, and things like that. So, and Linda, what a thrill! People got to call in and talk to you on the phone. That's a lot of fun. So, well, it's certainly a service that we are very honored and thrilled to provide, and we are humbled that it made a difference, because that's certainly always our goal. All right, coming up next, we're going to head to the kitchen. We've been waiting to see artisan cheese. Stay with us.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Game on, Suncoast. Get scores and highlights from the area's top high school matchups on Football Friday night, just after the news at 11:15. Sponsored by your local Honda dealers. From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at the top of the hour. A conflict over hurricane shelters. Why the city of Venice decided to open a shelter during Irma against the advice of Sarasota County. In First Alert traffic right now, there's a crash in Manatee County. It's on I-75 in the northbound lanes, right near State Road 70, and is slowing traffic in that area. Now over to Bob for the latest on Maria.
It just came in, the latest advisory, a dangerous Category 4 hurricane now. Winds up to 130 miles an hour. It has gone through rapid intensification, unfortunately, for the islands there. In the Lesser Antilles, they're going to get hit by a Category 4 hurricane. You can see the eye quite clearly, and it's getting better organized, too, as it pushes off toward Puerto Rico. For us, we're getting some residual moisture left behind from Jose on the East Coast. Not much going on here. Things are quiet. Details in our forecast coming up at 5.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
Until recently, getting older meant losing your energy, memory, sex drive, even gaining weight, but it doesn't have to.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jenny Wilkins, owner of Age Vital Pharmacy Research and Wellness. Reversing or slowing the effects of aging can be as simple as supplementing vitamins, minerals, and hormones that your body needs in order to look and feel young again. At Age Vital, we do this without taking harmful prescription drugs that often have a longer list of side effects than benefits. Growing older doesn't mean you have to feel older. Age well, Age Vital.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and co-insurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-800-558-8779.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi.
It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
And welcome back. We're in the kitchen with Chef Kayleen and cheesemonger from Artisan Cheese Company. And this is a great spread. I'm ready to make something.
Yeah, so today we're making raclette. And raclette is a dish as well as a type of cheese. Oh. So raclette means to scrape. And the dish itself is traditionally served with potatoes, cured meats, and pickles.
Oh, I like the idea.
So what's really fun about this dish is even though we're in Florida, I like to use it as a way to get any odds and ends you have in your fridge. Oh, okay. So instead of potatoes, you could use carrots, beets, root vegetables.
In the Midwest, Jeffrey calls this a casserole. I like your word better.
Yeah, it's the deconstructed version. So.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, so you started off with some potatoes, and I guess, Jeffrey, you're supposed to be making some of those?
No, I'm good at that. I'm good at that. I'm
careful with the fingers.
I'm a sous chef. So you just basically cut them in half so that they all grill about the same?
Exactly. And then they're going to be tossed in some olive oil, salt, and pepper.
Okay.
And if you're at home, you can just put these on a baking tray and roast in the oven until they're golden brown.
Are those little fingerlings or yellow russet? What kind are they? They're so tiny.
Yeah, these ones are just little baby Yukon Golds.
Oh, nice.
I really like these for their really buttery flavor.
Okay.
And then underneath here,
I love this container, by the way.
Yes.
Never seen anything like this.
Me either. So you grill on the top
and then right underneath, this is our cheese, which is melting. So this is specifically for raclette. And
that's not the way.
So I put a little oil on these? Is that what you're, and a little salt and a little pepper?
Oh, yeah.
And is that how we're prepping them? A little salt, little pepper, a little oil?
Yeah. There you go.
That's a great little machine.
You're
is that
professional
available?
already.
Yeah, where do they sell this machine?
So online is probably going to be your best bet.
So normal
for
people,
finding.
we can buy this too.
Yes.
They're the cutest thing.
I like to let you do it because this looks like it tastes so good.
What are you saying that I don't know how? Are you saying I don't know how to cook, Linda? Is that what you're saying?
I've never seen you cook.
All right, so you had the potatoes.
I can act anything though.
You browned the potatoes on both sides.
Mostly just the cut side facing down, and then that way you kind of have this nice crispy edge on one side, but then it's still a little buttery and soft on your other end.
Okay, so you gave us all little bowls, and our pickles are inside, and now we're putting our potatoes. Okay. So what else should we add to our bowls?
Okay, so you can add some crackers. We've got some salamis here, and then
let me take
this one. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And the cheese is
all right. So crackers.
I like the crunchiness.
Kayleen, is this a pickled Brussels sprout in here?
It is.
That is going to be my new favorite thing.
So this is probably one of our fastest selling pickles in the shop. They're actually coming from St. Pete. Urban Canning Company, and she does some really amazing things with pickles.
Oh, wow. You just melted the cheese right on the potatoes.
Yeah, would you like to pour yours over the top?
Oh my gosh.
And just make sure the other part of the pan can be hot.
Oh, Beth, I'm not picking any, but I've never seen you so taken by a kitchen gadget. I'm excited.
It is the cutest thing ever. I want one of these.
Thank you.
Mind you, I have not turned on my stove in a couple weeks.
This is not like fondue. This is different than a fondue situation.
It is. So with fondue, where you would be you know, dipping your items into the cheese. In this instance, instead, this is kind of your deconstructed version. So the cheese is getting melted and spread over the top.
And I'm sorry, what type of cheese is this? Because it smells amazing.
The cheese itself is actually called raclette. It's raclette cheese as well as the dish.
And what is that similar to? Like a brie? It looks kind of soft.
So it's called a washed rind Alpine style cheese.
Oh my goodness.
A washed rind is a cheese that the cheese is actually washed, maybe with a beer or just a water, a salt water solution, and it gives it this kind of orange hue to the rind. So when you're melting, go for it.
Oh yeah.
So
can we use these spoons, these forks? Here,
look at it. Doesn't it look beautiful?
I was eating with my fingers.
Oh, okay. I guess that's okay, Jeff.
But make sure if you do get this cheese, you're going to want to cut off the rind instead of.
So this part on the outside?
Exactly, the orange That's the rind, and you don't want to leave it on because it's just not going to melt as nicely as the interior.
One
of
of the things I love about Artisan Cheese Company is if you do go in, and I go in and I'll tell you what I'm serving or what type of wine we're having, and you always help pair the right cheese.
That's good.
What is a cheesemonger? Since we were explaining the names of the cheese, that's a title.
That's a real thing.
Yes. So a cheesemonger is someone who takes care of the cheese. That's our job. We want to make sure the cheesemaker spends a lot of time and work making their cheese. So we make sure the cheese stays at that perfect quality from the time.
So
that
it's a science behind it, you know, temperatures and where it's stored and how.
Yes, and if you're at home, don't wrap your cheese in plastic.
No,
this is
I
a
didn't
really
know that.
big thing.
What do you put it in?
So there's cheese paper that lets the cheese breathe, but if you're in a pinch, blue cheese foil is great, or parchment paper would be a better alternative.
I did not know that.
You learn something new every day on the Suncoast.
Well, Artisan Cheese Company, located on Main Street in downtown Sarasota. I know you have ongoing classes and cheese tastings, and you can actually learn to be not a cheesemonger because you have the studying, but we could be amateur cheese experts.
I could be a cheese eater.
Exactly. You're very good at that.
You're doing very well.
I am doing really well. This is very good.
Thank you so much, Kayleen. We are excited to have the cheese, and everyone else in the station has been lingering around when they saw the cheese.
It smells so good.
I don't want to eat mine because it's so pretty.
Thank you so much for being here. And remember, now we have a gift idea for Bo Beth. We're going to give her one of those.
Right here.
I really like this
fancy cheese.
And you can have lots of fun.
And we are having fun. Don't you forget, take some time. Enjoy the Suncoast view.
Oh, this is so good.